here we're going to go over your final exam for this semester. So you can find your final exam in the syllabus, but also when you go into Blackboard, just go into the course units and go to the very last module that says final exam. And then the final exam is gonna pop up. And you can see it here. What I want you guys to do is you're gonna complete 3 things. Everybody has to do the middle square, and then you have to do any of the other 2 squares around. You do not have to complete a tic-tac-toe. Now I'm gonna switch here a little bit just so we can see this bigger. So there we go. So we're gonna start with the one everybody has to do, which is the infographic. For this, I want you to create an infographic, or you can call it also an instructional poster, using Canva or Visme. They have plenty templates that summarizes what you learn in this advertising course during the semester. I do not want a summary of the book. I want a summary of what you learned. So my advice to you is to first write it down, what topics or what things you're going to cover, and then go either to Canva and Visme to figure out which template you want to use. You should use text, use specific examples for what you're saying, use pictures, graphics, etc. Anything that you can muster up to include. And another way to think about it is if somebody asks you, what is promotion about? Or what was this class about? What is it that you would tell them? So now I'm going to go around the side squares. So the first one is a letter. For this one, you need to write down a persuasive letter. So it can be either a cause that you're passionate about, that you're trying to convince someone to support or join, or you can also find a job placement ad and write a letter stating why you are the best candidate for that job. In any case, as you write a persuasive letter, I want you to think about what is your objective that you're trying to accomplish with this letter, who your target market or your audience is, who is the person that's going to be reading this letter that you're writing it to. What is your positioning? How are you going to frame this argument, this cause, this you being the best candidate so that this audience understands it? And what is the information that you're going to use to support this? So the letter, you should submit it as a PDF format. The infographic, you just share the link, the public link, once you published it. Or sometimes you can also do it as an infographic. Next up, we have the comic strips. Now here you can pick any topic from the course and you storyboard that to create a comic strip that's at least 5 frames long or with a maximum of 7 frames. And your story is what's going to be in the text boxes. You can get pictures from Pixabay or any other place in the internet that you may need. You need to give it a title, choose characters, and obviously give it your name. So whatever topic that you want, you can write the story around it that exemplifies that topic. So it can be definitions, it can be examples, it can be a persuasion conversation, it can be a debate. Go freely. Next up, we have the crossword puzzle. Now for this one, we are going to concentrate our work on the creative brief. And you have to create a crossword that has 5 across and 5 down, which means you're going to need 10 words, right? So we're going to be looking for 10 keywords in particular about the creative brief that we learn this semester. Once you have those words, then you can work around to the clue. And in order to create the puzzle, I have here 2 links, Puzzle Mazer and Crossword Maker, that can help you create the crossword puzzle. But remember that you must have 5 across and 5 down, and these clues and these words need to pertain to the creative brief. Next up, we have the videos. So if you remember for our midterm, I had you find videos that describe the topic in a way that was fun and engaging or explain it better to students. So right now you're going to pick one of the elements of the promotional mix: sales, promotion, public relations, advertising, etc. And you are going to create your own 5 to 7 minute instructional video on that topic using either Powtoon or Render Forest or whatever you find that you can create a video that is fun and is engaging and covers the topic pretty well in those 5 to 7 minutes. So like everything else, think first, right? How am I going to cover this topic? What are the elements that I want to discuss? What is the content that I think should be explained? Write a script so you have less editing to do later, and then get your video together. You can choose voiceover, you can choose music, you can choose text, whatever way you want to do this. And then once you have it, upload it to YouTube as a public file and then share the link in Blackboard. If you've ever listened to a podcast might be something that you might want to try. For this one, we're also choosing one element of the promotional mix, and you're doing a podcast no longer than 10 minutes on that subject. You can talk about it, you can bring in examples, you can talk about if there are songs that talk about it, you can interview someone, different ways. You can use your phone to record this podcast, or you can use Audacity, or you can use sound editors, Anchor FM, whatever you want, so that then you can upload it and edit it as a file. It's better, much like the video, if you write the script first and then go and record the podcast. That way you don't have awkward silences, there's less editing to be done, it flows, and you don't have any blank spots or hard edits. So if you've never listened to a podcast and this is something that intrigues you, I'd advise to listen to a couple episodes of any podcast just so you get an idea or a feeling of how podcasts are done. You can also use this template to get you started and get your ideas organized before you go into writing that script. Now, if you are creative and you like writing songs or poetry or maybe even a rap, this one is for you. For this activity, you're going to use the topic of only sales promotion. And you're going to write either a poem or a song or a rap to it. I always like to give as an example Ariana Grande's 7 Rings, because she says, I see it, I like it, I want it, and I get it, which illustrates the AIDA communication model of awareness, interest, knowledge, desire, and action. So here you have to write it, because I'm going to want both your written file and your audio or video file. And then just record yourself rapping it or just saying it out loud or singing it, if you can sing. You can do audio or video. I know not everybody's comfortable with showing themselves, but you can always do a video that has the lyrics in it. And then, you can do a lyric video. And that way you're only doing one, because then you're giving me the written file and the audio file all in one. For this activity, vocabulary, you're going to pick any topic that we covered in class. For that topic, you're going to choose 5 keywords, and then you're going to give me 3 of these elements for each keyword. A definition, a synonym, an antonym, a picture or an image that describes the word or at least exemplifies the word and makes some connection about that word with either other words or with real life examples. And last but not least, we have a mind map. Now the mind map is a little bit more in-depth activity that's going to help you connect topics. You can read more about mind maps here. And the idea here is that we're going to use the topic of target market or audience, message, and the media, and how these topics connect. So if you were to draw connections between the elements in this topic, that's what we call a mind map. So ideally, you write them first on a paper so you can rework it, and then you would do it on the mind map application. You can use MindMeister, which I really like, and it has a free account that allows you to create free maps. or you can use this other guy here. I don't remember its name, but I remember it also had free. But this one is more intuitive, and it brings in really nice templates that you can use. Once you are done, then you're gonna submit it in Blackboard. This is gonna be due on the 15th of December. And I want you to submit a link to your elements, or you can submit the files depending on what you're doing and the platforms that you're using. The submission part will have the availability for you to do multiple submissions if you need to do that, or if not, if everything is in links, just write the 3 links in the comment section and submit that.